Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is All About Candles. Happy Sunday, everybody. We made it to the end of another week. Every Sunday, I like to do the weekly wax wrap-up. This is a really quick breakdown of all the candles that I finished burning this week, how they smelled, how they performed. Let's just get right into it. I finished off Snowflakes Cashmere from Bath & Body Works. I absolutely adore this fragrance, and this candle was just beautiful. This whole collection was beautiful. We also had lavender pine, fresh balsam, falling flurries. This collection was a win for me this winter. Cute lid on there as well. We had white wax and thin core wicks on this candle, and the scent notes are vanilla cashmere cream, caramel woods, and frosted clementine. I don't really pick up on anything like caramel about this. I definitely don't pick up on anything clementine. Any sort of like a citrusy zestiness, I don't get in this. This is mostly like a vanilla cashmere candle for me. Cashmere I often associate with like a powdery sweetness, like comforting fabric, or just a coziness, maybe a touch of like a bit of an amber vibe on the bottom, a little bit of a soft woods. When we say soft woods, we're usually talking about like a sandalwood or a cedar. I just think this fragrance is beautiful. Yeah, and like a muskiness, like a bit of a skin-like sort of sensual warmth in here. Oh, I love this fragrance. This first started coming out in body care, and I bought the body wash for it, and I loved that. It was an online exclusive as a candle when it first came out, so I actually ordered it from the States, and I thought that that candle was super weak. I actually really do think that this new version is a little bit stronger than the first version of this candle that we got. However, it is still not a super strong candle, although for me, it was perfectly adequate as a bedroom fragrance in a hurricane. I'd say that in the bedroom, in the hurricane, during like some of the nice deep even wax pools in the middle of this candle, I feel like it got up to about a 6 or a 6.5. I feel like if you were just to put it like in an open concept somewhere, it would probably be like a 5 or a 5.5. But this fragrance just screams bedroom candle to me. So I kept it in there most of the time, and it definitely had a presence to it. Would I have liked for it to have been a bit stronger? Yeah, I really would have. But I still think it was an adequate one, and I actually already have repurchased it. And if this is the kind of fragrance you like, I'll recommend it. It is just not like a blow the roof off the house kind of fragrance. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more subtle, and I was okay with that. The burn on this candle was also really nice. Look at how clean and white that wax still is. I burned it all the way down to the whole thing had liquefied, and you could see the wick nickels. Thin core wicks you do need to keep on top of trimming them and limit your burn times. I didn't ever really catch this one sooting or doing anything like that. So overall, I was really happy with this. I'm okay with a 6 for strength and throw if it's a fragrance that I like this much, as long as it does have a decent presence to it. And I thought that this one did. Yeah, Snowflakes Cashmere, I really love that. I also finished up a hot cocoa and cream from Bath & Body Works. This version came out like a year or two ago. I get one of these candles every single year, and I really love it. I mean, I really think that out of all the chocolate candles out there, from all of the different brands, I think this is my favorite chocolate candle. It's not super complicated, it's quite one-dimensional, it's a fairly mid to like low ranging candle. The scent notes on it are decadent milk chocolate, fresh steamed milk, and mini marshmallows. Really basic like milk chocolate fragrance, but it is done so right. It's just super smooth and creamy, and I really enjoyed it. I'd say that the strength and throw on this is like a 7, maybe a 7.5. I feel like this is a strong one, and that would be in my more open area too. In like the open concept, I'd say it was a solid 7. I did have it in the bedroom for a little while, I think. In there, I'd give it a 7.5. It burned really nicely. I got all the way down until I could see the wick nickels on this one. No complaints. I do think that it dudded out. There was a period of time where it was kind of dudding out and not doing so well, but I just kind of let it go and keep burning, and it eventually fixed itself, and I got all the way down to the bottom with it. And also, speaking of like, hot chocolate marshmallow type fragrances, I also finished up this toasted marshmallow and hot chocolate from Goose Creek. This was a cute candle. It looked nice when it was burning. We had a white lid on there. We had a milk chocolate colored wax. This is obviously a dupe of this Bath & Body Works candle that I was just talking about. Obviously a dupe, and so I wanted to try it. The scent notes on here are chocolate fudge, milk cream, and campfire marshmallow. And I have to say that I don't really see any point in buying this candle if you can get hot cocoa and cream from Bath & Body Works. This wasn't a bad candle, but it was definitely inferior to hot cocoa and cream. I don't like the fragrance as much. It's not as smooth. It's not as creamy as I would like it to be. And it was a little bit flatter, I think, too, than hot cocoa and cream. The performance on this was okay. I do remember seeing it get a little bit sooty. You can actually see a little bit of soot marks there. And I felt like maybe towards the last third of the candle, something happened with the fragrance and made it a little bit off. And I felt like the strength and throw on this was super inconsistent. I feel like it ranged from maybe like a 6 to a 7 for strength and throw. That's in my more open area, so not terrible by any means for strength and throw, but I thought it was really, really inconsistent, to be honest with you. And the fragrance is just a little bit flat. It probably doesn't help that I was burning this, around the same time that I was getting burns from hot cocoa and cream. This one from Goose Creek, not a repurchase for me or a recommendation for you, because hot cocoa and cream exists. It's a better candle, in my opinion. I also finished up this Christmas Village from Goose Creek. This was an interesting one. I'm really kind of on the fence about it. I didn't not like it, but I certainly, I didn't love it either. I'd say that the strength and throw on this was maybe a 6 or a 6.5. The scent notes are icy peppermint, spearmint, marshmallow fluff, and chili vanilla snow. And something about this candle was a little bit like gourmandy to me as well. First and foremost, it is a minty candle, like a minty and vanilla candle, which should be something that was right up my alley. However, I thought that the fragrance was a little bit one-dimensional. It's mostly like a minty vanilla fragrance, but there was a little bit of like a sharpness to it that I didn't love. And also, just in terms of like packaging and marketing, I don't really get it. Christmas Village. It was okay though. I didn't not like it, but it's just not one that I'm writing home about. The burn was pretty good. This was a colored wax, so that wax is actually still quite clean. I didn't really see this one sooting at all. However, it did definitely go through a couple burns where it was itty bitty wicks and teeny tiny flames really dudding out. Pretty inconsistent. Just overall, the burns were inconsistent. The strength and throw was inconsistent. Was it a nice minty vanilla fragrance? Yes, but not gonna warrant a repurchase for me or a recommendation for you. It was just okay, but not good enough, okay? For me, it just wasn't really good enough. Especially considering some of the other sort of minty winter candles that I'm burning right now that are just far superior to that one, Frosted Forest from Bath & Body Works, which is a repackage of the Perfect Winter. I'd recommend that over this. I would even recommend, right now I'm burning Slopeside from Village Candle, which is a similar fragrance profile, but done much more nicely. I also finished up, there's No Place Like Home by Goose Creek. This is from their Wizard of Oz collection, and I loved this candle. In fact, I'm burning three of the Wizard of Oz candles right now from Goose Creek, and I love them all. And this one, This one was absolutely lovely. The scent notes are vanilla petals, sweet almond, and creamy tonka. I love a tonka fragrance note. I feel like we don't get tonka that much anymore. And a lot of the time when we do get tonka, they're just saying that it's tonka when it's really just kind of a darker vanilla fragrance. But in this one, I really picked up on the tonka in the base of this candle, and it's lovely and smooth. There's something a little bit nutty to it as well. Ultimately, it's just a really nicely done like vanilla and tonka candle. I really loved it. I thought this Wizard of Oz packaging was really cute. We've got little pictures of all the characters here. It looked gorgeous when it was burning. Strength and throw, however, was not fantastic. Maybe a 6. I'd say in my bedroom it was a 6. So for me, that's acceptable. And this is also a fragrance that I think is meant to be a little bit more soft and subtle, you know what I mean? I'm not sure that they could have done much to amplify this fragrance without kind of ruining it. So I was actually okay with this being a 6. I thought it was an absolutely lovely bedroom candle. I was sort of burning this in my bedroom on and off, like alternating between this and Snowflakes and Cashmere. I just thought that they were great bedroom candles, and this one really impressed me. I have actually repurchased it, and it's absolutely a recommendation. As long as you're not looking for something that's gonna like blow your socks off, this was just a really nicely done, slightly sweet, kind of nutty tonka bean candle. Oh, I absolutely love it. There's actually, I called it a day. I burned it all the way down until I could see the wick nickels, and the wax was starting to get a little bit discolored. I did get a little bit of sooting happening as well, and so I had to call it a day when there was about an inch left here. Even though I stopped burning this, I think this is gonna have to have a go round in the candle crock for a day or two now. Yeah, I really love that candle. Beautiful fragrance. Marshmallow Snow Cream by Goose Creek. This is one of the ones that was designed by Kent from the Candle Channel. It looked absolutely stunning when it was burning, but I'd have to say that the best thing about this candle probably was the packaging and how beautiful it looked when it was burning. So this is a 100% repackage of Marshmallow Cream Gelato from Goose Creek. They are exactly the same fragrance. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so in winter, I guess they call it Marshmallow Snow Cream. In the spring and summer, they call it Marshmallow Cream Gelato. I have a review out for Marshmallow Cream Gelato, which I will link to below, so you can get the full story on what I really thought about this fragrance, because it is a very blatant repackage. The scent notes are marshmallows, vanilla cream, sweet sugar, and creamy gelato. And the scent notes on Marshmallow Cream Gelato are marshmallows, vanilla cream, sweet sugar, and creamy gelato. So yeah, they're not even really trying to hide the fact that this is a total repackage. I think that it was Taylor Nation who pointed this out to me in my comments section, and it's not a bad vanilla fragrance, but I don't like the fact that there is sort of like a bit of an odd, almost burnt sort of quality to the fragrance, which is strange. Like it's a nice vanilla, but when I was burning it, I really picked up on something that was a little bit like singed or burnt. And what I would prefer from a fragrance that's supposed to be marshmallow snow cream is a little bit of a cooling agent, like maybe even just a little touch of like a mint or a eucalyptus to kind of give it that cooling effect. This was just kind of a not so well balanced vanilla candle that came across as slightly like burnt or singed when it was burning, unfortunately. And also the burn wasn't really perfect on here. It didn't get super like murky or weird at the bottom there, but I did notice it sooting once or twice and had to blow it out. I did burn it all the way down until I could see the wick nickels. The whole thing had liquefied, and there's not that much fragrance left in it anymore, even though there still is about this much wax. Just not a very just not a very perfectly crafted candle, in my opinion, in a lot of different ways. Something about the way that it burned just didn't always sit well with me. There were some burns where the wicks were really tiny and small and it wasn't doing much. And then there were some burns where it was just roaring flames and you had to be careful with it. And you can actually see at the bottom there a little bit of that murkiness from the wax sort of leaving itself on the jar. And I remember having a similar experience with the marshmallow vanilla cream. Unfortunately, I still have an extra marshmallow vanilla cream to get through. I think I got another one before I had even burned my first one because it was on sale or something. And it does smell pretty nice on cold, but yeah, it's one of those ones that just when you go to burn it, just wasn't in love with the fragrance. Something about it was a little bit off to me. Okay, I also finished up a Village candle. This was Winter Clementine. I loved this one, you guys. I thought this was a beautiful fragrance. I got the scent notes off of the website. It's a citrus and fresh balsam fragrance with top notes of clementine and orange peel, mid notes of herbs and dried flowers, and base notes of sandalwood, balsam, and cedar. And yeah, I really thought this was a beautiful sort of herbaceous, balsamy citrus fragrance. I'm really picky too. You guys know I'm really picky about my fruit fragrances, specifically citrus fragrances. I do find that Village Candle is one of the companies that does sort of fruity and citrus fragrances the best for me. The difference between like a clementine and an orange for me is that a clementine is usually sort of sweet, soft, maybe a little bit floral, whereas an orange is like zesty, tangy, and more bold. But this is sort of like a nice, soft floral citrus. And it's balanced really nicely with that balsam sort of woodsy note in the base. And you do get something a little bit herbaceous, almost sort of tea leafy in the middle section of this. Really nice. This is a 21.25 ounce 2-wick candle. The burn time on these is 170 hours. You do not want to trim the wicks on this format of a Village candle. They even say that themselves. And I think performance-wise, it did really well. This candle looked absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put up a picture of what it looked like before I started burning it because it was just like a beautiful, like pure white wax. And I mean, look at that. I burned this until it was completely done. Like the flames were still going, but not touching any wax anymore. So I called it a day. I kept this in a hurricane on my desk. And I'd say that the average burn on it under those circumstances, hurricane, smaller space, not very far away from me, I'd say that this was maybe a 6 for strength and throw. And I do think that some of the burns got up to about a 6.5. However, I do wager that if you were to put this in a more open area by itself, you'd probably only get up to a 5. However, the citrus note in this candle definitely did travel. It was leaking out a little bit into like my hallway, down the hall. Like it wasn't unnoticeable. It definitely had a presence to it. But yeah, I mean, the best you're gonna get for like good, deep, even wax pools in a hurricane, smaller space, 6 or a 6.5. And yeah, you know, Village candles aren't for everybody. You have to be pretty patient with them. I actually do like these large jar formats that burn forever. There were times where, you know, like on a Saturday or a Sunday at home, I would probably leave this burning in there for like 8, 9, 10, 11 hours, and it has absolutely no problem with that at all. Also, Village candles like this, they do tend to have some burns that are sort of smaller and kind of duddy, and I found that that happened a lot less with this candle than it has to me with other Village candles in this exact same format. So performance-wise, I actually feel like this one did really well. I do think I might repurchase it next winter. I hesitate to recommend it just because, like I said, these candles really aren't for everybody. They last for a really long time. You have to be patient with them. They don't always have the strength and throw that you like. I do have a full-length review out for this candle. If you wanted to go and watch that, you might get a better idea of whether this should be a purchase for you or not. I also finished up a candle from Above Love Co., which is the candle brand from the Above Average Candle Studio based out of Chicago. The owner of that studio sent me this candle as a gift. I'm not paid by them or anything like that. We just have a really good supportive relationship. I support their company. They support my channel. They do some really lovely fragrances. And this was part of their Love My Coffee Time collection. And this is brown sugar and espresso. They do a little like sparkly finesse on top of their candles, which is what you see there. But this was like a really clean burn. There is a little bit of darkness happening around the top of the jar, and I did catch this candle sooting once. However, that was 100% because I think I left it burning for like 4 hours. I'd say the max burn time on these, you need to do about 3 hours max. It is a 100% soy wax candle, single wick, 6 ounces, and the fragrance is like a really nice, dark, deep, rich espresso with a brown sugar note that isn't leaning too sweet. It's actually quite like, it's actually kind of like a rich sort of thick molasses type of like sugar note. And it's balanced really nicely with that espresso bean in there. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this candle. I burned this in my bedroom in a hurricane. I wish it had been a little bit stronger. I'd say that it was about a 5 for strength and throw in the bedroom in a hurricane. So it definitely had like a presence to it. I could smell it when I walked into my bedroom, but I would have liked it to have been a little bit stronger. I would have liked for it to get to a 6, but I mean, we all know that like small soy wax candles like this, to get a 5 or a 6 out of strength and throw is pretty darn good. And I did enjoy the fragrance. I burned it all the way down into the bottom. Yeah, I really liked that one. Wish it was a little bit stronger, but it was still strong enough for me to detect and to enjoy it. So overall, I like that candle a lot. And that's all I have for you this week, folks. Those are all of my candles. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. What are your plans tonight? I don't really have anything super exciting going on. I really don't. I had a pretty punishing work week, and so I've been laying pretty low this weekend. Might go out for dinner with the boyfriend. Get out of the house a little bit. Might do that later. Got to catch up on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills tonight. And I'm also sort of binge watching the latest season of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Oh my goodness gracious me. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I mean, this is just one of the strangest groups of women that they have ever assembled for a Real Housewives franchise. And I mean, some of them are like high-level criminals too. Like Jen Shaw is in jail right now, and Mary had some sort of like fake scam church that she never talks about anymore. And she's also married to her step-grandfather. And the last episode was actually kind of heartbreaking. Like her son is like struggling with like a prescription drug addiction. And I don't really think that I don't really think it's super responsible mothering to be airing your son's dirty laundry out on a TV show like this. It actually made me really, really sad. But guess what? I mean, I am still popping the popcorn and coming back for more. You Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you are nuts, okay? The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has been really good. I've really been enjoying that one. I mean, I am living for Dorit this season. Like, she just does not give a F anymore. She is telling it like it is. And Kyle is annoying. And Erica Jane, like, talk about a phoenix rising from the ashes. Like, she had a couple really, really rough seasons, but now her personality has never been better. She's like humble and gracious and funny and sexy, and I live for Erica Jane. I love her songs too. I really do. They're terrible, but they're great. I will be back tomorrow with another candle review for you. If you could hit me up with a like, comment, subscription, that would really mean the world to me. And until next time, my dear, gorgeous, and beautiful candle loving friends, Let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.